Welcome back, viewers, to the UOW Malaysia KDU Jingle Mingle 2021, brought to you by SCCM and Dice Collective. I am Imran Sahalid, and my co-host.
Hi, I'm Wesley Cobb, and today we are gonna continue bring you more game dev projects from 2020 and 2021. So we have another game dev project for you. It's Hadal. Hadal is a FYP project from Pseudo Studio, and they have recently been nominated as one of the best student games from the C Game Awards, as well as a gold award from the Sintop International Games and Gamification Awards, or SIGG awards for short. So right, huge congrats to the Pseudo Studio. So yeah,
Thank you.
so today we have us one of the members from Pseudo Studio. So would you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, so I'm Jonathan Tang, and I am the project manager, UI designer, and also tech generalist inside my team, Pseudo Studios, that created the game Hadal. So Hadal is part of a FYP project that we do in UOW KDU, and we are given the opportunities after development to pass our game to game awards. So as explained just now, we were in SIGG and also C Game Awards.
Right. Sorry. Before I continue, so is it pronounced as Hadal or Hadal?
Hadal, but most people pronounce it Hadal because Malaysians.
Ah, yes.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. Sorry. I just want to clear that up. I've been mispronouncing it the whole time.
No
So
problem. We get it. We absolutely get it. Even our own team members like pronounce it Hadal. So
Yes. I see.
Yeah.
Right.
So I would continue. I would call it Hadal also because I would just be another Malaysian calling Hadal. But as the team was created for an FYP project, how was it created in the end, the team?
I guess there was a lot of upbringing from previous projects and time spent together. I mean, when during FYP, this will be our last year doing games together. So before this journey, we had a lot of exposure as classmates as we integrated, we made projects together, we get to know each other as we learn through our course. So we kind of get a gist from the aim and the career trajectory of everyone else. So in FYP, we get to form our own team to simulate the studio environment and the people we get of people who has the same ambitions and the people with the same goals. But I think I must say that it boils down to what we previous projects have done together as friends, as classmates, as batchmates, and people who know each other from their merits and what they've done. But the most important thing is probably passion, where my team, I can say for sure, everyone has got together because, hey, let's make a game that we can slap on my portfolio and get us a job, but also we will be proud of, just like the big goal crowning achievement right there. Let's do something great together because we have the drive, we have the will, and we have the motivation to do it. So ended up because our batch was around 20-ish people, but we have like a lot of people wanting to do the same thing, so we just whoop 10 people in one group.
Yes.
Mm,
10 people. That's huge.
amazing.
Yeah.
10
Yeah,
people.
a little bit.
Hopefully for my group, also 10 people.
Hopefully. Yeah, also no experience. It's
Not-
like, everyone's just like, Right.
Not not really a good thing unless you know what you are doing. I can talk more
Mhm.
about it later, but yeah, we just see how this
It's
goes
just
first.
something for later. It's like
Yeah.
let's see at the end of the session. So yeah. So okay. So a little bit about this is that me and John, of course, we did work together before, and I actually did play tested for Hadal a few times. So I remember when you first pitched Hadal.
Yeah, Mike Wesley, you can be that Malaysian here.
Oh my god! So yeah,
We're
I remember when you
Malaysians,
first pitched. I remember when you
get
first
what we're
pitched.
talking about.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I remember when you first pitched Hadal, and and then like the first time I heard it, of course, I was also blown away. And this is something I want to ask you. So it must be like a very interesting choice to go for this first person co-op Monster Hunter for your final year project. So like, I just want to ask, like, how is it like developing this ambitious project for your final year project?
I think from the start, I'd definitely say it will be at the pre-production phase, where the concept phase, it will be the most rockiest and the most unsure because everyone felt like, will this be too ambitious? Will we overscope? Can we really trust ourselves to finish what we want to envision out for people to play? So, and I would say at the start of when it was pitched, it was miles different from what the current Hadal looks like. So, what was originally pitched was actually more features. It was like not submarines. It was actually player divers themselves. We have like gas mechanics, where basically when you shoot your ornaments, there will be also other mechanics that will uh, deter you and also help and also hurt you at the same time. Not really hurt, but push you back or basically give some drawbacks. The AI was supposed to be much, much more robust. The map was supposed to be open waters and a lot more stuff. But definitely because we have a limited time span, we have other assignments, we have other subjects, we scope down and scope down to a much more feasible one. And we are glad that we are able to at least show the core design of what we wanted to achieve from the start. So I guess developing this in the entire journey, it was a very big experience in the sense that this is the first time we all tackled something that we wanted to reach these kind of standards. Before this, our GPS were all small games, indie games meant for 15 minutes. I mean, meant for not even 5 minutes ish, or like mobile games, just very simple mechanics. This is the first time we want to build something big, robust, multiple system playing in together as a big team during the pandemic. So I would say it was not really a smooth ride, but the team held together and we basically went through all our obstacles to the best we can, and we are proud of what we achieved. And what you see Hadal now is what our hard work, blood, sweat, tears have gave us in the end.
That's quite a great story that you managed in the end to scale it down your game into its core design mechanics itself. So it managed to become the game itself in the current time it's shown. So moreover than that, we'll be going to the design questions. So the first design question is, how did you came up with the idea of Hadal itself?
All right. So and the current version of Hadal is like a team projecting. We will talk and added features and remove features from the original pitch. The original pitch was about a group of hunters. I will shamelessly talk about it because I pitched it. I'm gonna talk about it. I'm very hyped. It's about the original idea that was pitched is that it was supposed to be as I said just now, it was actually humans, right? It's supposed to be underwater task force tasked to take out minor kaijus. You know, the kaiju universe where Godzilla and all those. I wanted to play with the idea that the big kaiju you see on cinemas are the ones that rose from sea and too late to control. But because they already know this threat exists, they actually already sent task force down there, secret task forces to take out minor kaijus before they grown too big, like Godzilla, Mothra, and Gojira, all those kind of stuff. So, going down and we talk more about it, it was kind of apparent that number one, the story might not really fit well with kaiju fans because oh no, kaiju is not on land, you know, it's not that fun anymore. We have the big problem with that. How are we gonna build an AI, make the game interesting, but the AI is on open water? Because original idea was in the seaplanes with different regions, different biomes. But how is this gonna be interesting if you're only ever looking up? Right. So I think as we consulted more to our mentors, and consulted divers, did our research on underwater environments, with the consideration of scoping down as well, we wanted to make it a little bit more towards the gameplay of action, where we want the players to engage with the AI itself, since that's the style of the show. We want to show that AI is robust and adaptive, and we wanted to make a captivating underwater environment, but that doesn't necessarily to have to be in open flat plains of the ocean bed. So we moved it to the cavern. We made it to submarines because it made no sense for swimmers to swim in such a big place. It would be too slow. You can't hold large weapons, and the water pressure mostly is going to probably kill the diver if it's really deep depth underwater. So yeah, I guess this was the main pillars that pivoted Hadal into the current form it is now today.
Right. So we did hear about how did Halo became Halo, but I want to ask specifically about the main star of the show, the big monster that appeared in the game that we have, that probably all of us struggled to kill once or few times in my playtest. But yeah, so right. So I just want to ask about the design of these big monsters. Like during the ideation phase, like how do you like what what's the thought process that comes to you when comes to designing this huge scary monster?
I'm glad you asked because okay, from the start of the project, we wanted to emphasize on something called the hunting mechanic. So when we think about hunting, it's either player empowerment where the player just whoosh, go and kill the monster and track it down, or the players being hunted themselves and the big monster comes and chases you. So we reference from a lot of games like Hunt Showdown, Monster Hunter, the mechanics, Hunter, and we've dissected a bit, and we wanted to play with this thing called cat and mouse dynamic, right? We wanted this to be able to be switched around by the players themselves, in a sense that we want the player to be hunted by the Leviathan, but we also want the player to hunt down the Leviathan itself. So we built the Leviathan on the basis that is number one, it should be an ambush predator because it has lived here for a long time. It has a lot of enemies. It should be smart enough to use its environments where it lives to use it against the player. It should be smart enough to adapt to what the players do, which is in game right now, where it reacts to the player's actions, the player's surroundings, and the player group himself and how they play the game. So judging by these two biggest one, we built out the current build of Leviathan, where number one, it will try to ambush you, it will try to hide, it will run away if there's a lot of people, and it will purposely come towards you if you're alone. We wanted to have that. So after we built that, we focused on how do we make the players hunt back down the Leviathan in the sense that we use the director system from a lot of games like Left 4 Dead and Alien Isolation, where there are different phases in the Leviathan, although not too visible. We wanted the players to give them some breather time to recover, but also chase down the Leviathan itself. So the players are all actually after every single engagement, the players are given a time to breathe or push on when they can to chase down the monster. Yes.
That's quite really unique selling point for your game itself, and like interesting than other games that they don't have those mechanics, and also the Leviathan himself. So it also goes to the next question that I will ask. And the art question is that how did you envision this monster? How do you make the monster look as scary as what it design said about
It's just purely for graphics or the design itself.
the design?
The design. I think because we already did a deep ocean thing, a concept where everywhere around is dark. People fear the unknown. People fear things they don't know, and they fear open spaces. Even more worse, what is between this open space? So if you look at the Leviathan like model in like lights around, it's not actually really that scary. It's a monster. But if you play with the environment, that number one, it can come anytime it wants to come. Number two, it's silent. Number three, it uses the fog around you to hide. We used the environment of the deep dark ocean to make the game itself. So instead of making a scary monster, well, monster kind of scary in my opinion, but it's the focus was not there to make the creature look as scary as possible, but we wanted to capitalize on people generally fear the deep dark ocean, at least a little bit. So we used that as our game design on how we used the creature itself swimming around and the players knowing that it's there but not really there. Yeah.
Right. So I'm glad that you talk a little bit about the environment, because the environment is actually one of the best things about the game. Yeah. So I just want to ask a little bit more about what you said. So when it comes to the environment, how do you design, like what goes on further when it comes to designing like what you said, a scary unknown environment. Like, yeah, what other thoughts goes into it?
I think like when we were coming up together with the concept arts, our concept artists, like we made a research together with the team. We wanted half of us wanted to make it very captivating underwater ocean with bioluminescence, plants and animals you haven't seen before, but also make it scary at the same time. How do we do this? We decided that we make the things as beautiful as possible, but also as alien as possible. When we look at like beautiful jellyfishes, like as glowing buds from behind the aquarium glass, it looks nice, it looks beautiful. But if you're in open ocean surrounded by it, suddenly the beauty is drowned out by the terror that you are near them and you can't escape them. So even though the environment, if you look at it as well, like the creature, it's not that scary. But looking from afar, looking at being in a place you do not know, I think it builds upon that it is simultaneously nice, beautiful, nice to look at, but also dangerous at the same time. Because while you're so captivated by the beauty of the environment, where can the creature be? So using this, we wanted to enhance the experience of the ocean. It's something very scary and something very beautiful at the same time. So with our usage of our environment, I guess we also used it for uh wayfinding. So the players, like when they see it, they also think of it, and then it's a landmark system they have. So when they travel around the landscape, we make sure it's unique enough so that they know where they are at all times. So it's like kind of a biome thing. So I guess the environment plays in our game design it itself. We did not have to build specific mechanics for it, but how nature itself already presents itself and why we as humans are afraid of nature when we are out of our comfort zone.
That's really impressive environmental design that your team had gone through, and also the art team creating the art style it needed for those environmental uh, designs. So with that environmental designs had it in mind, it also comes the question. Next question that I'll ask is the tech questions. What engine and language you use in the game, and why did you use those engines and language?
This comes with a lot of considerations. In the end, we chose Unity, but one of our public play tests, our game was commented like, "Do you guys use Unreal Engine? It looks really nice." I was like, "Oh, we take that as a very huge compliment because it was done in Unity engine. Not saying that Unity looks at worse than Unreal, but to be able to mimic the quality of lighting and post-processing effects, it's a very huge uh, compliment to us. As the main reason why we use Unity, it's because we're working from home. We are not able to use the school facilities. We have to use our own facilities, our own laptops and computers that are not on par with industry equipment. And because of that, we've taken into consideration that most of our teammates will not be able to use Unreal Engine itself, which is a much more demanding engine. And secondly was that we didn't really need the lighting that the Unreal Engine gave itself. Though it is much better looking, but it's also much more demanding as well. Well, same thing as what we said just now. So in a game that's technically in the dark most of the time, do we really need lighting? Not really. So coming with Unity, we chose to take C Sharp because I guess most of the team is much more used to using C Sharp. Yeah.
Right. So now when it comes to tech about Hadal, there is of course one question that probably everyone is looking forward to. It is the AI of the monster itself. So I'd like to ask, like, how do you guys code out the AI for the monster?
So this has been a really rocky journey to make out the AI because it went through 3 different phases of 3 overhauls on how it worked. The first time it was a hierarchical state machine. Then it went on to be a behavioral tree. Then it went on to be it went to be a decision tree. Then became a behavioral tree, which went back to a state machine. So technically, 3 overhauls that got it to where it is today. At the concept stage, we was using a hierarchical state machine, and we decided that we can just use a decision tree. We moved on the decision tree, coded it a bit, and realized wouldn't a behavior tree be much more efficient and much more robust? Move on to the behavior tree, and our first major lesson in as a programmer life kicks in, saying you should have a very vivid imagination on coding out a behavioral tree. For those who do not know how behavioral tree works, it doesn't work like a normal flow, like this nodes go down to this node. It works by passing on argument to the next node and coding it out instead of having a visualization method like Unreal Engine has. It took a lot of time to visualize it and debug it because it's all through code. It's lines of code that creates nodes that can pass on the next one, and when you read it, you must know what it does. One line of code instead of how behavior tree is like visualized. So we spent like 2-3 months, like half of the tech team on it. When our God and Savior, our senior programmer that came in and says, I think you guys are over engineering it. You guys should just switch back to a state machine. We did right that. The AI was done in 2 weeks. So it was a little bit disappointed that we weren't able to tackle it, but then again, we're also proud that we tackled a behavior tree very naively through code and code only, and it serves as an experience for us as students that realize that holy shit, there's so many systems out there that can be used to implement this, and it might be less efficient to not have a visualization method itself. And sometimes our imaginations have its limits, our train of thoughts and stuff like that. So all in all, right now the AI still works as mostly as it was pitched as intended, but uses a state machine now, and the AI director concept that I mentioned. Yeah.
That's really complex what you had gone through, but happily you guys have managed to get the thing running, and it will be a good it will be a good advice for future game dev programmers and what they want to do on their programming for the FYP. So we have come to our end to our Q&A questions. Now we would like to ask one final question to you, John, that will be advice to your game dev juniors on their challenge and what they should do when they're doing a FYP.
Right. So this is a little bit like experience from my previous projects, external side projects, and also my FYP itself, is that everyone has different goals in life and includes their career trajectories. The biggest problem of working together as a team in FYP is that everyone we usually are friends. You are not colleagues, you're not co-workers, no one is a boss, no one pays anyone anything. And this creates a very big problem in the sense that what direction should the team actually go to? Whose direction should we follow? And whether that aligns with everyone. So one of our things we realized that not everyone sees game dev as a career. Not everyone sees it as a hobby. Not everyone sees that this project is commercializable. But not everybody thinks that they should be designed to be never commercializable. So a lot of factors do play a hand in this, and this course does not train us for one thing, is communication, which is stated a lot, but this is something we learn. But secondly, the most important roles of any project, a project manager. Like after taking the role as a project manager and a tech generalist and a UI designer as well, I've taken a lot of roles. I've kind of when I look back, I kind of regret that I didn't spend more time project managing, because it is a full-time job. There are people paid full-time jobs as a project manager for these exact reasons, because to track everyone's time, task, their motivation, what they're gonna do, what they can do, what they're feeling, the well-being of the team, the welfare of the game, the project itself. There's a lot of things to think about. And this is, although it's tedious, it looks like very easy task they can do. It causes this very big mental load on the people themselves who doesn't know what they're getting into. So as experienced project managers, if you go and ask like industries, right, why don't take the development jobs as a project manager, because project management, physically doing it, is actually pretty easy. It just might be tedious, but pretty easy. But it's also a very mentally heavy thing, because you have to keep thinking, what are you missing out? What is your teammate needs, wants, what they're doing, what they're feeling, if you care about them even. So once again, as a project manager, there is being in a big team, and if you know 100%, like the entire team is not like best friends working out live together like shonen anime, then believe it, is Datebayo is not gonna work. You will need someone to absolutely hold the team together and make sure everyone is okay, make sure every task is up to date. And sometimes people just get burnt out, and sometimes people just need rest. And again, you're just friends, you're not workers, you're not colleagues, you have other assignments, you have responsibilities in life, and that makes a very big difference from being a student and an actual developer in the industry.
All right, so I think that's it for our interview with with John from Hadal. Hadal. I'm gonna make the mistake just beforehand. But yes, so yeah, sorry. So that's actually so that's the interview with John from Hadal. So once again, congratulations to the team for their astounding work.
Thank
Right.
you.
So I actually have give a clap for yourself, John. That's a huge enough clap, right? So I actually also have to personally thank John too when giving his advice for about project manager. If you don't know, John is actually one of the person that helped started out Dice Collective too, and John has been also a very huge has been a very hardworking person in honestly out even in and outside of his school life. Like he is the former president of Gaia. He also managed the Sam Jam of SCCM. Also, if you don't know, John was also interviewee of Jingle Mingle last year. Like John has been it's so this is very personal, but seriously, thank you, John. And I hope that your time in UOW MKDU has been amazing. And it's a pleasure to have you not just on this show, but also in like UOW itself. So thank you.
Thank you so much, as well
We
as
wish you
you
all the
being.
best, John.
Yeah, man, wish you all the best.
You were the best.
It's
Yeah.
it's not
I will join
bad.
you. I will join you in the corporate life soon.
Right. I'm going to pass away. I will come back. So
It's the anime senior graduation arc. Yeah.
hopefully I can get back to this show, but probably not anymore since I don't have any student project. Wink.
Wing.
Yes, wink,
Yeah.
wink.
Right.
New-
Yeah. So we would also like to thank everyone for tuning into this show. Thank you for watching this interview of Halo. This is UOW Malaysia KDU's Jingle Mingle 2021. We still have more interview coming up that is brought to you by the School of Computing and Creative Media, SCCM, and also Dice Collective. So once again, thank you to John and Emran and everyone, and see you guys next time. Bye.
See ya.
Hello everyone, it's me again. It's been a blast to show everyone the works that our students have worked on this year. Are there any projects that you guys particularly enjoyed? do let us know. With that being said, thank you for being part of this year's Jingle Mingle. Whether you're viewing the show live on YouTube or trying out the games on Discord, it has been an honor to have you guys join in on the event. If you would like to check out any of the works that have been showcased today, all of the live streams today are available on the following channels. All of the links will be provided in the description below as well. Once again, thank you all for having us today and have a good evening. My name is Victor and this is Jingle Mingle 2021, brought to you by the UOW Malaysia KDU's School of Computing and Creative Media, as well as its student club, Dice Collective. I'll see you guys